back, everyone, to A Cup of Joe. I'm your host, Joel Organista. And, well, this is episode 8. Isn't it crazy that I'm already doing another episode? If you didn't hear from my last podcast, I'm doing an episode every other Thursday. So this is a Thursday, I'm going to do a podcast, and then next week I won't have one, and then the following week I will. But I'm having a guest with me, as I did 2 weeks ago, I think. And this is my friend Anna, so.
Hey. Thanks for having me. So fun. So new. I like it.
Yeah, this is, welcome to A Cup of Joe, where we talk about things that I think about at 3 a.m.
Perfect.
In the morning. And I just always want to discuss it with people because I'm a talker. But yeah, let's get started. Well, actually, no, have you introduce yourself. Tell everyone who you are.
Yeah, me and Gillette, we've just gone on lots of trips together. We've hung out a lot. It's been fun to get to know her. And we do have lots of random, deep conversations. It's kind of cool. But I grew up in California, in San Diego County, and I love Spanish as well. I lived in Chile and Peru, and now I'm here in Utah studying educational psychology. So, yeah. There's a little bit about me.
Yeah, we've been BFFs since our first trip together. But, so yeah, episode 8. Today we're talking about toxic traits. And let me tell you how I actually got into this this thought. Because, Halloween, and you go to, haunted houses, and you do a lot of, fun, scary stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, man, there's a lot of, toxic things in that haunted house. And then I thought, wait, there's a lot of toxic people out there, too. And then I thought, okay, that's kind of sad, people are called toxic, because I don't think they mean to be toxic, and I don't think they mean to be kind of toxic people, but then there's a stereotype of, what toxic is, and that's what we're going to talk about. So today we're just going to talk about, what it means to be a toxic person, an individual, or what's a toxic relationship, and then kind of go from there. So I guess in regards of what makes someone toxic?
Yeah, that's a tricky question, because you think of toxic, I think of chemicals and things that are bad for you and can hurt your health. So I guess a toxic person would be, in my opinion, someone who prohibits you from doing your best, from being your best, feeling your best. But I don't know. How have you heard it?
I mean, based on the things I see on social media, I guess a toxic person is someone that's maybe controlling, doesn't allow you to think as an individual, as well as someone who doesn't bring good vibes in your life, It's they, instead of bringing you up and allowing you to progress with them, they bring you down, and they just want to control, And I don't know, I think a lot, have I had toxic people in my life, or have I been in toxic I guess in regards to toxic relationships, so now we've kind of talked about toxic, what it means, kind of what is a toxic person. Mm-hmm. So what would be a toxic relationship?
Good question.
I was thinking about our relationship.
Using past experience. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think a toxic relationship is very similar to what we've already talked about, where it starts to intervene and interfere with your goals, your day-to-day living. You start to feel more negative traits, negative thoughts, maybe self-doubt, maybe low self-esteem. I don't know. That's what I would say. A toxic relationship is kind of, or maybe it's super needy. Maybe there's manipulation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I think, I think that maybe a toxic relationship definitely has manipulation, or mansplaining. Right? That's a word.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Also, I don't know, because I keep thinking, have I ever been in a toxic relationship? Have I ever been maybe with someone who is toxic? Or not even just relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend, but have I been in friendships that are toxic? And have I been around people who are toxic themselves? And I don't know, I think I'm a very optimistic person, and I just see the good in people, so I don't see they're toxic. I just see they're struggling or something,
That's kind of my personal opinion. I think the word toxic is kind of tricky to use, because everyone has poor traits and good traits, and to call someone a toxic person, it's a little intense. It's a little harsh, because everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. But
Yeah, I don't know. I just keep thinking like, man, have I been in a toxic relationship? You know, it's like something I've been thinking about lately. I guess let me tell you why I had it. Let me tell you
Let's hear it.
what
Let's
I've
hear
been struggling
Get
with.
it out there. Let's go.
I was talking to someone. So I was talking to someone, and they were talking about me with their friends. Okay, and so then I asked them. I guess if we're going more into details, I was asking him like, okay, what do your friends think about me? And they, during the time of what was going on and everything, I wasn't being very nice to this person because, you know, I guess I'm just, like I said in my last episode, why I'm so scared to fall in love and to be in a relationship, because it's scary to give your heart to someone, and hoping that they're not going to break it. And because of my past relationships, I feel that it's just really hard for me to, I don't know, like to trust guys, you know, to trust men. And so then I asked his friend, I was like, hey, like, what do your friends think about me? And they're like, yo, like, they based on what you've done or how you've been, they said there's a lot of red flags, and you might be toxic. And it was the first time in my entire life that I've been told,
wow,
kind of like, I'm not saying like, oh, I hate that person, like, I'm really mad that they said, but it just kind of called my attention. This is why I'm doing this episode this week, because I'm like, am I actually toxic? Am I actually someone that's what you see on social media, or am I just someone that doesn't have, or am I someone who has bad habits because of past relationships that I've had that has made me, like, I wasn't toxic before, but am I toxic now because of past relationships and traumas that I haven't been healed from? Does that make me toxic? You know? And so that's what's kind of like what actually makes a toxic person, because now, since that person told me like, yeah, my friends think you have red flags. And
do you know why? Do you know what they were saying? What
my red flags are?
Yeah, like traits, or
I don't want to.
Did it make sense? You don't have to get too far.
I don't want to get into that right now. Just kidding.
But he did explain.
Well, he said that. Well, basically my red flags, I guess, if I have any, which he said like, well, right now what I'm having trouble with in regards to relationship is being doubtful a lot. You know, we've already talked about this a little bit. That when I start going out with a guy and they're at the point like, ooh, I really do like you. Where can this go? You know? And I'm like, so it's like the girlfriend label pops up, and I'm like, oh gosh. And then my first thought is like, run, you know, because I don't know, I get scared. And
fight or flight.
Exactly. And so I guess right now with what's going on in my life, it's kind of like that's considered a red flag, because you're not supposed to be doubting someone. You know, you either like them or you don't. And that's what I talked about in my other episode. And I was like, if you like someone, you tell them, right? And if you don't, you tell them too, so you can move on. But right now for me, it's kind of like I want to, but I'm scared. But does that make me a toxic person, because I'm kind of still doubtful and stuff? And so I don't know. That's the situation. That also they heard his side of the story, not really mine. But I'm not trying to like call him out. But I'm just saying, because of past relationships that I've had, and because of the one relationship that, you know, that broke me, like everyone I think probably experienced in one time in their life, now you're so careful of who to give your heart and what to say and what to do, because you're just terrified. But then is that what made me, or what has made me a toxic person? Because I'm not as open and loving anymore as I was, you know?
I don't think so, because it's not toxic to doubt. Well, let's get into that then. Like, what are the traits? What makes a person toxic? Is it doubting? To me, it wouldn't be. I think doubting is a natural instinct that we do to protect ourselves, and that we do to ponder and make a good decision. So what would be considered toxic?
Let's actually search in Google. I never really Google let's see what Google says. All right, what makes a person toxic?
Mm-hmm. And I'll add, it's so individual, because we can have different needs and different personalities, and other people as well, that just might not make a good combination. Like chemistry, there's some chemicals that make really cool explosions, and there's some that are literally toxic that we cannot inhale the chemicals. So it's so personal based on the person. True. Your doubting might really affect that person who wants something specific, but to someone else, they might just see you as someone that's careful and cautious.
Just someone who's struggling, you know?
That too. We understand that.
All right. Let's hear it. Based on Google, I said, I wrote the question, what makes a person toxic? And based on Google, and we know 100% Google's correct, says toxic people love to manipulate those around them to get what they want. Mm-hmm. This means lying, bending the truth, exaggerating, or leaving out information so that you take a certain action or have a certain opinion of them. They'll do whatever it takes, even if it means hurting people.
Thanks.
Interesting.
It does not say anything about doubting.
True, but toxic behavior often rises from genetic conditions like depression, anxiety, or from circumstances that led to post-traumatic stress. Of depression, anxiety. Wait.
Normal, yeah. Any traumatic experience can cause bad traits that can be considered toxic, but...
Yes. Oh, another 8 telltale signs of a toxic person. They disrespect your boundaries. Toxic people struggle to honor other person's limits. They manipulate or control. They lie. They always have to be right. They're always the victim. They're judgmental. They're take and no give. Oh, okay. And oops.
My question, why would they still be in a relationship with that person? Like the toxic person manipulating another individual.
It's because you love them. That's why you stay. Or you think you love them.
But the person causing the toxic environment? Who knows?
Well, they leave you feeling drained. All I'm saying, like, I've been in a relationship where it was not healthy and I stayed because I thought they could change. Mm-hmm. I thought they were going to change and I loved them very much. You know, I just couldn't leave, or I guess I couldn't leave the idea of, no, it can't work out. It's going to work out. And so in regards of staying with someone who's considered toxic or being in a toxic relationship, I think it's very hard because you especially if, let's say, you're in a because again, we're members of the church, and so we do things and we don't do things that a lot of normal relationships do. So just imagine someone who's in a relationship, they're already physically and emotionally and mentally attached to them, you know?
Absolutely.
And so that's why it's so hard to leave a relationship. And even if they're not, you know, anyways. Like, you know what?
Just keep going.
Anyways, so all I'm saying is it could be very hard for someone to leave a toxic relationship because they're just so in love with the idea of being with that person.
Yeah.
Or they're in love still of the idea of that past relationship, and so it doesn't help. Like, it's very difficult for them to move forward. And so
we both have gone through something like this.
Yeah. And so
we understand.
But based on like this, on they're lying, bending the truth, exaggerating, leaving out information. Okay, that makes sense. Like, that's someone who has those obviously toxic traits. But then I always think of like what has led them to want to lie and bend the truth and exaggerate and living out information. Is it because they've been lied to and they've been in relationships, not like maybe boyfriend girlfriend, but maybe a parent or like parent relationships that they've seen, and then that kind of carried them on to themselves, and that carried them to the relationship? Because a lot of, like, you've heard the term like daddy issues and mommy issues, only because of what they see or they don't see in their parents' relationship, and then they try to find it or hide from it in their, you know. So I think someone can't, I don't know, I guess I just think, is someone created toxic, or do they just toxic themselves? Because toxic is just like, you have to gain something from someone to take to, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, definitely people can change their traits, and I think that's important to remember, that we do not have to continue patterns that we've seen in family or in the past. But each person is so unique to what they have to offer and what they need to change. So if they are getting used to lying and they've done it their whole lives, they need to notice it. They need to try and work on it. They need to adapt. And I mean, cognitive behavioral change is hard, but we can change habits and patterns. And I mean, yeah, it's a hard journey, but I don't think it's innate. I don't think they have to stay toxic by any means. Like,
I mean, yeah, I doubt anyone wants to be toxic, but I think, how can they move from habits that they've done for years, you know? Like the other day when I was, so we went to Yellowstone,
so fun,
last week, and I've been reading the book that I always quote in my episodes, and it's Break the Habit of Being Yourself. And it talks about how we're in a cycle, and for many years we're doing the same thing, the same routine, and then our brain automatically kind of knows what we're gonna feel and what we're gonna do. And so when we try to change that routine, it fights us. And so when I thought a lot about this topic. I'm like, when someone maybe who has those toxic traits, when they try to get out of it, they feel weird about it, and then they go back to.
Totally.
They're like, oh, I can't change. And so, I don't know. I mean, I guess let's actually talk. What do you think are our toxic traits? Do you think
about ourselves?
Yeah,
oh my.
let's just spice things up.
Just to get an example of how we can change it. I like it.
No, because I want to see, like, let's try to identify our toxic traits and see how we can actually break from them and improve from them. Yeah. And so, based on the list that we have here on Google, should we start with you or me?
We can go back and forth. Let's do it together.
Alright, I'll do one. Okay, let's see. Alright, guys. I guess if I'm gonna really list my toxic traits, and if I end up getting married in the future, and that would be a miracle, because I don't know. Anyways, so I'm getting out of them. Okay. All right, so I think one of my toxic traits is that I always have to be right.
That's tough.
I mean, I think in a relationship, looking back at my past relationships, maybe I really gave off that toxic trait of, no, I'm right, you're wrong. No, your idea is not good, my idea is better. I think I always have given off.
Thanks.
I think I'm always giving off.
That's tough.
I think I'm always giving off that thing, because I don't know. I think it's just a personality thing that I always want to be right, but sometimes when I'm in a relationship, I'm like, no, it's my way or no way. And I remember, I think I'm looking back at a past relationship that I had, that this guy told me, when I told him, like, there's like that phrase that you say to people. It's like you take it or you leave it.
Okay.
And so I would list to him things like, yeah, I'd like this and that or whatever. Or sometimes I have an attitude, you know. I'm like, just take it or leave it. And then he's just like, but aren't you willing to change? And I'm like, no. And I think that was like a moment. Okay, yeah, I'm different now. That was like 2 years ago. Okay, that was a year ago. It was 2 years ago. But all I'm saying is, like, I think that's something that I personally see very clearly when I'm in a relationship, that I always want to be right, and I always want to be like the boss, and I always want to lead, and that could help sometimes that individual if they're not necessarily like someone that likes to be, leading all the time, but something that I just always want to do it. So I think that's the first toxic trait. I always want to be right, and sometimes I need to change for the better and not be like, well, take it or leave it, or it's my way or no way. I don't think I should have that in my future relationship, because then that doesn't allow me to change and to improve. So that's my first one.
No, well said. And I think in extreme cases it can cause damage in a relationship, because that person will think, she doesn't care what I say, she thinks she's right. So it is hard, but I think it's very changeable, and
that's so true. Anyways,
we'll talk about that part after. Okay, for me, they're always the victim. It's kind of the way I see it, the way that I might play the victim card is, I'm giving my all and I want things to work, and I feel like I just keep getting hurt. That's kind of how I see it. So I'm always the victim. In my mind, it's I'm giving everything and getting hurt still. So I don't know. Would that be...
Let's see what it says.
Please elaborate.
It says they're always the victim. A toxic, I don't know how to say that word, Raleigh.
Who knows?
Alright, to the need to be right is the tendency to play the victim. In a world where they can't be wrong, dysfunctional people will often default to be the wronged party. Okay, if someone appropriately challenges them, they tend to experience a challenge as a accusation accusation or attack. Do you feel that way sometimes?
Not a ton.
Like
no.
if someone challenges you in a certain way, do you feel like they're attacking you?
Maybe a little bit, but no, not really.
Okay, if a situation doesn't go their way, they tend to attribute their failure to other people or forces.
No, I kind of turn it inwards, maybe.
So you're saying, like, if something's not your fault... when something's your fault, maybe in the relationship, you don't blame it on the other person.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't.
Where a healthy person experiences an injury or a step back, sussing out their role of situation... Okay, I don't know what I'm reading. Their worldview serves as few purposes to enhance their identity, generate sympathy or attention, and let them off the hook. Because toxic people, generally speak, also struggle to take real accountability for their actions.
See, I don't have a problem taking accountability. If I messed up or if I did something to hurt them, I can do it. I can see it. I can say something. I'll accept it. But I think something that for me is playing the victim.
Maybe not at a toxic state.
It might not be at a toxic level.
Yeah,
but
it's still there.
Could be
but it's still
hurtful,
there. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I definitely don't play the victim. Because
she's always right.
Alright. Look, I think this is a toxic trait that I have now because of what happened in the past.
Okay.
This is one. This is my second. We're gonna do 3 because I don't want to talk about this toxic trait is they're all take and no give. Look, I don't think it's at a toxic state, but I think it's there.
It's developing.
Yeah. But let me tell you why.
Let's hear it.
Let me argue why I might have this toxic trait. Well, first of all, shout out to...
She's proud.
No, it's because it's so funny how, like, these episodes, I always try not to talk about my past relationships, but actually talking about them helps me realize that I have issues and I might be the problem. Anyways, but... So in my last episode... I talked about one relationship that I had, that the one that broke me emotionally and sad, for days and weeks and years. And but the point is, in that relationship, I gave all. I gave everything that I had, and I'm not saying that person didn't give either, but they didn't give to the extent that I gave. And so when the relationship was done, I felt that they took it all, and they're all take and no give. They took it all, and they gave me nothing at the end.
Left you empty-handed.
And I felt empty, and I felt sad, and I felt like, why would someone that I loved so dearly just leave if I gave everything to them? Mentally, emotionally, everything, spiritually, and... They just walked away, and I think that's something that's been kind of haunted me still to this day. And so now when I'm trying to be in a relationship or like going out going on dates with guys and they're giving, right? And I'm not giving at where they're giving because I'm scared to give because I've done that and they didn't reciprocate. And I know not all guys are the same, but my head and my mind's just like, no, stop. Because,
warning, yeah.
Yeah, because if they give and they stop giving, then you're still giving, And so let's just kind of read what it says. Toxic relations are usually predicted as... Wait.
Predicated?
You can read this, dude.
I got you, girl. On one key objective, self-enhancement. To a toxic person, a relationship isn't a healthy, dynamic, generous vehicle for shared value. It's a parasitic, one-sided arrangement designed to fill the toxic party's interests. Ooh. So they're not really thinking about the benefit of the person or the well-being of the person. They're thinking, I have a need I need to fulfill. Let's use this person and fulfill my need. That's harsh.
That's hardcore. Now I'm thinking of... That's really sad. Oh my goodness. Oh, my camera's overheating today. That's so interesting, because now that I think about it, I think, again, I don't think I'm at that point of being super toxic about this, but I do see, like, okay, yeah, definitely, not that, where is it? It's like one-sided arrangement, because I still do care about the individual, but sometimes I'm thinking about myself a lot more. Because I feel like in my past relationship, I didn't think a lot about myself. And so now I'm kind of like, no, I got to think about me, because I didn't protect myself in the last one, so I got to protect myself way more. But that doesn't help the relationship either way. Yeah. Because I'm not being considerate of the other person's emotions, their effort, and then you're right, maybe I am toxic.
That's not the conclusion we're getting to. We all have 4 traits that we can improve on, and there is growth from trauma. There is positive change. That's all I'm trying to study right now. So I think, if you notice it, okay, improve and focus on what you value in a person. You don't want to make someone feel less than you. Even if you want to be right, you can value still respecting another individual. That's so true. I don't claim you as toxic.
I do think, I don't think so. I really don't. I think I just have traits that have
sparked because of past
relationships, but not because I have that. But it could be changed. But I think one of those is, the all take no give. That's something that I can see a lot now. That I'm like, dang, that's really sad, because I wasn't like that. I was all give, and now I'm all take a little bit. But that's my second. All right, Anna, let's talk about your second toxic trait. Well, I don't know. You have to find one. I don't think that's you though. I think there's probably more, but here in this...
I don't think it's on this list, but perhaps something of mine would be I just get attached to people really fast. I love making connections with people, and so as soon as I like someone, I'm like, okay, you're mine. I want to do everything together. I want to feel like, I've got your support. So maybe I leave them overwhelmed, or maybe I just need to work on giving people
toxic,
space.
Though. I think that's just clingy.
Okay, those are different.
But I don't think clingy is a toxic trait.
Yeah, it depends on the guy. It depends on the relationship, the dynamic. I mean, I just love spending time with people, and my goal is to have my sidekick forever. So I don't know.
I guess, why would you consider that a toxic trait?
If I start getting in the way of them being able to achieve their goals, or being able to focus on their work or school, I think that's when it becomes toxic on a certain degree.
Okay.
Without bad intentions, perhaps, but it still interferes with their daily functioning and their abilities. I want to talk about maybe like how we can change them, or...
We've only talked about 2. We still got 1 more to go, Anna. We got 1 more to go. We gotta figure out what's wrong with us.
I didn't know this is what it was all about. Let's hear it.
We're going to talk about how we can we can improve ourselves.
Yeah.
Because this is a very positive podcast. We're not going to just shame ourselves and then leave the podcast.
This is a cup of dark Joe.
This is dark, black coffee Joe to this week.
All right, let's go.
All right, last one. I think because it's really at least helping me know. Based on what it is here, I definitely don't disrespect boundaries. I don't lie. I don't play the victim. Judgmental. I'm Latina, dude. I'm always just kidding. They leave you feeling drained. I don't think I leave people drained. I think I leave certain people drained, but I don't think I leave
the little eyes.
I don't think I drain people. I do think maybe this is one. I don't think I'm manipulative, but I do think I am controlling.
Okay.
I think at times I don't think I'm controlling as to control the person, but I think I'm more controlling of the situation, if that makes sense.
Okay. Explain a little more.
So, let me think of a
Or if you want something specific to happen, do you kind of control it so that...
I guess so. I'm trying to think of a moment maybe I've been controlling, but because I think I'm perfect, I can't think of one right now. But...
She's honest. Oh, man.
Okay, I'll get back to that one. Well, let's no. I honestly think I am controlling in a way. I think I'm trying to support them, but it ends up being controlling.
Okay.
Kind of like, I want you to do this because I think this will help you. Or I want you to do this because I think this is the best thing that we could, like, it could help us. I think maybe I was controlling in the relationship that I had, the one that broke me. Maybe I was controlling because I just wanted him to be so successful and to believe in him. And so I would kind of want to control certain things that he would do. There's a moment that I felt very clingy and attached to him. And I would kind of be like, no, pick me, not your friends. Because it was a long distance relationship. And so we had to depend a lot on FaceTime and calls. And when he didn't FaceTime me one day,
it's the end of the world.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you don't even love me. I was like, you're choosing your friends. You're not even choosing me. I'm going to be your freaking future fiance. And it was just like, I think that was a moment when he probably felt like, whoa, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why is she trying to control, like, my activities? So I think that's probably, I think it's gotten better. I don't think I'm very controlling now. I think I'm just controlling in situations. I don't control people.
And it's partially fears. It's natural instinct. You still have some fears that you're working through.
Yeah, I don't think I'm controlling.
Right. She's convinced herself she's not.
All right, we're done with this podcast. No. All right, last one. What do you think is your?
She's controlling me to think of all my toxic traits. Just kidding. Let's see. Maybe I start to rely on them too much. Like, more so than a relationship should be until you're probably married. And I've been told that in some ways. Like, okay, you're not going to have that type of relationship until you are married. You can't totally just be all dependent on them, which makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm not even talking, like, financially. I'm just talking, like, me as a person and my things in life. I just start to depend on them to, like, take care of me. And that's not really how it should be. But, again, everyone is so different. I have values where I want us to be able to kind of sort through things, work through our problems together. I don't want to feel like, hey, I'll hold all your burdens, but they're not holding any of mine. So it's tricky. But dependency in a relationship, I definitely gotta
So you
learn
think
more
you
about
depend
that.
a lot of you depend a lot, like, if not attention, but their love to be happy with them? Does that make sense?
Yeah, in a way. Like, I need their maybe confirmation that they're thinking of me or that they love me. Or
I mean, that's affirmation. That's like validation, which makes sense because I think everyone wants validation in a relationship. But is it like every second? Yeah, it is.
So it's a lot of seconds.
You're like every 0.2 seconds. Okay, then yeah, that's definitely toxic. Just kidding.
Anyways.
Okay, now I understand. Yeah, I guess because if you're depending on their happiness every second of every moment of your life while you're with them, I definitely think that's like...
Or depending on them to be happy.
Yeah, that's not okay.
And to function.
But of course you want to be happy with
Yeah.
them. And I think it just depends on the extent. Again, I think everyone has traits that are like maybe toxic, but they're not to that extent, you know?
Yeah.
Because right now we're talking about it and we're like, yeah, we acknowledge it, we see it, but it's not like way up there in the bar, you know?
We're not going out of our way to make other people's lives miserable.
Yeah, like we love,
Not-
we try to love them,
Yeah.
and then sometimes too much love can maybe be toxic too, you know? Because you...
That's that's true.
Because it's like, I think the toxic is like, if there's a bar, it's like way beyond the bar. Because anything could be toxic.
An extreme.
If it's an extreme and if it's an extent. But if it's like controlling or dependence, dependence is good, but not over dependence, you know?
Right. You gotta still
Controlling
be your own
is
person.
good. I'm just kidding, it's not good.
Explain how it
Being
is.
right is good sometimes. And then you have to be, I don't know. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Anyways,
You are wrong about
all right,
that.
now that we've talked about our three toxic traits and obviously what a toxic person is, and obviously as an individual, we think it's more of an individual thing than a kind of
an individual trait that affects a relationship.
Yeah. Now we got to figure out what we need to do now that we know our toxic traits, even if it's small or a large extent. What can we do to kind of take those or reduce those and make it in a healthier way? Obviously, like, well, or take them away, depending. Like, yours would be like how to make dependence more healthier in a relationship, and mine would be take away the one of the ones I said. I can't remember.
She's not super convinced that she has them.
Oh, the always has to be right.
That one is a good one.
The take and no give. All right, so like what do you think? What can we do to reduce or to take away? It's for sure gonna be a process.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be overnight. Like one day I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm completely wrong. Because I 100% that's not going to work with you.
Yeah. We definitely need to apply reinforcement. So if we do something well, we need some kind of reward system to show, okay, you're moving in a good direction. And I don't know, like for me, dependency, I also think of, okay, what else helps me feel good, or what else helps me occupy my thoughts? So I start focusing a lot on like what talents can I do, what things can I learn, whether it be an instrument or a new language, or focus more on my studies or go do an activity. I start to think of things that will make me more qualified or more exciting and more talented, instead of just having this dependency on a person to feel good.
So with that one, with your dependency, you think you need to spend more time with yourself and skills, whatever talents, for you to acknowledge, like, hey, I'm okay being by myself even when I'm in a relationship. Yeah. And I don't depend on them.
Yep. And I can accomplish things and learn things and become a great person.
That's good. How do you think you can try that today?
Right now, this very second.
Tomorrow.
Wednesday on my date. Cute. Oh wow, we're full disclosure. Oh man.
Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do that day to not depend on him?
Okay. Let's see. I would say something that I have gotten better at is just being very upfront, but still nice and casual about it. So if I'm like, hey, you know what do you think about phone conversation, about texting and calling? That way I'm just upfront and out there. Like, I don't want to overthink it. I don't want to play that texting game. He didn't respond or he took too long. I don't want to do that. So I usually just say it and get it out there in the beginning.
You're going to have that conversation with him on Wednesday?
Probably. Be like, okay, like, what's your schedule like? And what do you think about your, phone conversation? And
that's smart.
Then you just get it out there, and there's no overthinking.
And then there's no
helps my life.
Because
there's no dependence.
Oh, I like
and there's no worry, which is very good.
I think that's very.
Okay, take it away.
Well, let me see. I guess
your solution to getting over the need of always needing to be right.
No, I'm actually gonna do. They're all take and no give.
Okay.
So this is my solution. All right, because usually when I'm in a relationship, I like to give all, like, real quick, and I think that's the problem. And now I'm not even that. I'm like, now I don't give anything at all. So I think what I need to redo in my head is, hey, give a little and talk to them about it.
Try it out.
Yeah, and try it out, because I'm so terrified to do it, and I think I need to stop being so scared, and that's what's scaring me, because I'm already scared that I'm scared. And so this week, I'm going to try to give a little and see how I feel about it. And I think I'm going to write it down in a journal, dude. I'm going to I did this today for them. How do I feel about it?
Do you have one person or multiple people that you know?
What do you mean?
Who are you giving to?
Someone.
One person in particular.
I'm not trying to give it. Oh, I guess if we're talking about, I could actually start doing it with friends to kind of then do it with, because I'm not in a relationship, I don't have, anyway. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start giving a little bit more to my friendships to get used to it so that I can prepare myself to be in a relationship.
Okay.
Because I'm struggling with that. Because also I've been told that I'm not a good listener. And so I want to work on that. So today I'm going to hang out with some friends. Well, I'm not hanging out with Anna after this. But I'm going to hang out with some other friends and I'm going to give a little bit. And then I'm going to start trying to do that bits by bits every day so then I can be better prepared in a relationship. So then when it comes, I'm not scared.
Yeah.
Wow, I felt good talking about it. Okay. Anyway, so I hope y'all that are listening to us can kind of see, I don't think, well, we do know toxic people exist, but we also think that they're just habits that could be changed.
Toxic traits.
There you go.
Yeah.
Toxic traits can be changed if you want to do the change, you know, like if you do and so we gave you an example how we're going to try to reduce our toxic traits based on the new solutions that we've created today. And so we want to help you guys if y'all toxic or not, but like I think we're all toxic in some way, dude. I mean, don't get me started. Yeah. But anyways, so yeah, that's my take. Kind of like we want to help people feel more comfortable with themselves, because I think that's why they're toxic in some way, because they're not comfortable with it themselves.
Yeah. So I mean, we gotta just try to have the best interest of other people in mind, and you know, maybe not be so quick to call people toxic, because there's gonna be good and bad in everyone. True. But yeah, look for those traits, make some little adjustments, and try things out like we're gonna try this week on Wednesday, and but
so yeah so yeah, guys, that is our episode 8 of my podcast, Cup of Joe. This will be available on YouTube as well. Those who are hearing it on Spotify, well, go watch it on YouTube too. But thank you so much, and I really appreciate those who actually listen to my episodes, even if it's for a bit. I really do appreciate it. I love you guys, and we're gonna work on being less toxic every day. That's the slogan for this week and for the rest of the month. But thank you so much, and thank you, Anna, for coming for such a short notice. I really enjoyed this. It was so fun. It
was fun. Yep.
Yeah. See, we're better people now.
There you go.
All right, guys. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. So goodbye.